Good morning, guys. We are back at it. It's been a bit of a hiatus, but happy to be back. And let's get down to it. Just gonna pop on my music. And let's do it. Yeah, Boxel was great yesterday. Yeah, Martine and I probably took it the other way. But yeah, Boxel was fantastic for us yesterday. IPOs being priced in. Mm, Nothing's usual in this market. There's no such thing as usual anymore. All the rules are out the window. You never know what's going to happen day by day here. Um, yeah, typical and usual are out the window. Okay, let's take that down. Okay. Fauci is hopeful for new COVID-19 treatment by fall. So he's hoping that we're going to see something. Yep. Yeah, I got that here on my stuff to read. So it's not there's a lot of people that have already been talking about ACRX and their deal here. This isn't a deal for procurement. This is a exclusive. Oh, hold on. This is an exclusive deal with the medical research facility inside the Army, and the concept behind it is uh, they want to test which is more effective for combat medics, the fentanyl lollipop or Dasuvia. And so what they're doing is they're going to have 3,200 boxes shipped, which is $3.5 million. It's not a huge contract. That $3.5 million, though, is just to cover the costs of the kits to test whether or not this is a more effective field solution. And if that's the case, what you'll see happen is fentanyl lollipops will be phased out of Army kits altogether. Field medics won't use it anymore, and this will be exclusively what's used. This was not the big thing with this, guys, is, where is it? This notice of intent is not a request for competitive proposals, and no solicitation document will be posted for this requirement. Parties interested in responding to this notice shall submit technical data, included cost, sufficient to determine capability in providing the same product. All capability statements. So essentially, what they're saying is this isn't an open tender for people to submit to. It is Dasuvia, and that's it. What's up, Fury? On UAVs, it's been a while since we looked at UAVs. This is the drone system, right? Ooh, thank you so much. Greatly appreciate the sub, Joe. Oh, it's Cybot. Cybot's back. Yeah, I was expecting to take some crap from Cybot. What's up, Cybot? Um, and that rumor was a long time ago. Did this company IPO this year? Why are there no earnings? The Q1 results. Okay, so this would have me a little bit worried, Joe. What face cam to use? It's a Logitech HD Logitech 1080p. Because I've been missing for several days. I've gone absent for a couple of days here. I thought for sure. So this would be a big red flag for me because their Q1 earnings were not even. What is that? That's $390,000. That's all that they made in revenue, and that's up 751% for them. Which means the year before they made $50,000 in Q1. So while that is a sizable increase, this company's got a long way to go, I think. Now, if you are going to play it on that news, Amazon and drones. We're looking at UAVS. Hey, Hare, how you doing? UAVS. Okay, so they're saying they've got a solid CEO, solid executive. I'm not sure yet. I'm gonna go over. I made some changes to my portfolio, so I'm gonna let you guys know what those changes were. But first, I just want to finish breaking down UABS here. I always find something for the day. But right now, helping drive those drone sales have been an important new customer signed on in the third quarter last year. The company's not publicly identified that customer and has defined a panel on the report that which plans could be tied to market entry of Amazon. Hmm. Yeah, I like this. Um, so we're seeing evidence in this Q1 that somebody is buying at a rate that they had not been buying before. And if that is Amazon, um, that number is going to get significantly bigger. Now, they last reported May 15th, 3 months from May 15th. It looks like we won't get another earnings from them again until August. Yeah, so now might be a pretty good time to actually get in there. Again, guys, I'm just going to put the disclaimer into chat here. Anything that I say here, guys, is completely opinion, okay? So just general disclaimer on it, completely opinion. Check out the rules from the SEC. I am not your stock daddy. I don't tell you what to do. You guys come here to learn how to do your own due diligence, how we look at things and learn what we're going to create, but we make grown-up decisions for ourselves, okay? So, that being said, yeah, the good news on ACRX, I do like UAVS. I will add them onto my watch list here. Ooh, what would my idea of prices be in a year or so on UAVS? If Amazon is true, morning dim. If Amazon is true, mm, $15 to $20, somewhere in there. Um, let's go to tip ranks and see what the analysts have to say on it. This is not accurate at all anymore. I need to completely redo this portfolio, unfortunately. I've entered and exit positions and moved all over the place. So, yeah, because this is gone. This is gone. And I've added in. It is not free. No, definitely not free. Comes with a price tag for sure. Oh, and of course I can't access my holdings because it's too early. Blast. Okay, well, I'll update this later, guys. But let's go in here. UABS. So that's a great question, actually, Boris. The best thing that you guys can do, and from my opinion, is trade what you know. Okay, start by trading what you know. So most of us have some experience, life experience inside a specific industry. People say, well, I've never even had a job before. What industry would I know? Well, are you big into music? Are you big into movies? Are you big into tech? Are you big into gaming? Are you big into travel? Social media? There's something that you have an affinity for. There's something that you enjoy doing, that you've got a hobby in, that should be where you start, because to be honest, that's the sector you're going to probably best understand. Now, um, yeah, so that's exactly it. So for somebody who's 19 who doesn't have a ton of experience, you've grown up though with passions and hobbies. You have something that is a hobby that you're fanatic about. And that's where you should start to trade. You should trade your passions because you have a better understanding of that industry just innately. Okay. Now, for me, I started with marketing and tech and social media companies, and that's where um, hmm, that's where I got started. But the over time, I went, okay, well, um, great. I don't have a clear advantage in this sector. Either the stocks were way outside my price range, or I wasn't seeing the patterns the way that I should have. I wasn't making the right moves. And so what I did was I took a step back and went, okay, where do I see things in this price range that are making the moves that I want to make to grow my portfolio that I want to grow it? And biopharmaceutical was the answer for me. And then I took the next 4 months to absolutely rip apart everything that was biopharmaceutical to understand better how those stocks move and operate in today's market. Now, this is going to be a constant evolution. You're constantly going to be learning your sector. You're going to constantly relearn that, but you definitely have to figure out what kind of trader you are, because even if you could have 10 different bio traders and we all trade differently. Some will only trade the low float stocks that are phase one. Some will only trade approvals. Some will only trade conferences. Some will only trade options. Some will only trade equity. Some will trade on 6 years. Some will trade on 5 years. Some will trade on 10 years. Some people will only trade people that have a successful pipeline. Some will take a chance on a rookie. There's so many different variables, and you learn those through time. Now, yeah, so ACRX is my largest holding by far. Um, it popped last night. Uh, and I think we calculated that I think we calculated that oh, I think we calculated that I'm not going to be at parity, but it's going to come up significantly. Um, uh, so I'm not going to be break even on it because I have an entry of about $1.60 on it. But price target analyst on it is $5 by end of year. UAVS. I'm sorry, I got distracted. UAVS. So there are no analyst ratings on this. Oh. Um. So again, guys, you need to understand how long you're planning to hold this, because UAVS could be, well, I would say it's most likely a play either into Q4 of this year or Q3 of next year. It's one of those two, depending on how quickly they move. Now, they do have a new manufacturing center that they just set up, so there is a good chance they're trying to mass produce. However, there's no guarantee of that. So, what you really want to be doing here is doing a deep dive and making your own decision based off of, are you willing to trade this into Q3 of next year? Are you willing to hold this for a year? If you've got money that you can lock away for a year into this, then this might be a valuable play for you. Now, guys, I want you to remember, so there's a lot of people out there that are like, oh, no, I want to play for the day. I want to make my money today. Okay, so what I want you guys to realize is if we go to, let's go up here, let's go big sheet, let's go SPY. Okay. Okay, and let's put up the full year. Okay, so SPY for the year, guys. We open the year, frequency month. So a year ago, where's my view info window? Okay. Okay, so we opened the year at 296.68, and right now we are at 320.79. Okay, so we saw a 19% increase, right? 19% increase across the SPY for the year. Most traders do not beat the SPY. Okay, most traders do not beat the SPY. I'm predicting that this could go to $15, in which case you would get a 5-time return. So you would see instead of a 19% return, you would see a 500% return on your investment for the year. Now, even if it doesn't do that, in order for you to beat the SPY for the year, all you would have to do is take this one play and it would have to go up 20%. So UAVS is currently at currently at 342. All it would have to do is go to $4.10 and you guys would beat the SPY on this. So if you think in a year that's going to go to $4.10, it's a solid investment. There's not a lot of traders out there that are doing that. They're looking for the big win every single day. But what I'm trying to tell you guys is forget that. Forget that easy trade. Instead, focus on this. Focus on beat the SPY for the year. Okay. 19%. That's all it takes. If you took one trade that exceeds the SPY by 19%, you beat it. You beat most major hedge funds out there. You beat most traders out there. 19% return on the year. Fantastic. Okay. But yeah, that's my insight on UAVS, guys. There are no analysts. Unfortunately, nobody is watching this thing. It's too small. But yeah, it does look like a nice entry. It does look like a nice time to be there. I wouldn't be opposed to it, I don't think. I'm not sure that I would take an entry, but why did I exit Waiter? I exited Waiter because I had been holding it already. And then they released early sample of their earnings, and I took a significant gain. And then it fell back down, it declined, and I bought back in, and it went back up, and I took another gain on it. I still think that it's going to come down again in the next week to around that 370, 360 range, and I'll buy again, and then I'll take it into earnings. Now, that being said, I'm not out of Waiter in my options portfolio. My options portfolio, I have October options at a $4 strike. So Waiter today is worth what? Yeah, so I'm already in strike, and we're in July. So those October options are going to be worth a fair chunk of change. So I'm not completely out of Waiter. I've got an options holding in Waiter, but I definitely wanted to take that money and put it into a couple of different things. So some of the new things, guys, that I did get into, maybe I'll do that later because I still can't load my holdings. Maybe if I close this and reopen it. Unfortunately, my trading dashboard, the way that it works is it does its updates early in the morning from 4 till 5, 4 till 6. Um, and so while they're doing those updates, you can use the charts, you can use the tool, but you can't access your holdings. Yeah, no, the holdings still not updated. So yeah, there was ACRX news. ACRX got news of a medical study from the U.S. Army to see whether or not fentanyl or Dasuvia is the better option for field medics. So it's not that it's a big order; it's only 3.5 million, but that 3.5 million dollar order is going to decide conclusively whether or not fentanyl lollipops or Dasuvia are the tool of choice for the Army. And given that the Army helped develop this as a solution, I would say the odds are very much stacked in ACRX's favor. The other thing is that this is not a tender for public. It's not a public tender. They're saying the only drug out there that meets the requirements that we're looking for is Dasuvia. And they can say that conclusively because they designed it. They gave ACRX the specs of what they wanted, and ACRX developed it. And so it's kind of a, well, there's no company out there that can do what Dasuvia does because Dasuvia was specifically designed to meet these specs. It would be akin to the government going, okay, well, we're going to go to Ford and give them the exact design of a vehicle that we want them to build for us. And then we're going to create a public tender saying, do we want to see, we want to see whether or not this vehicle that we designed ourselves, that we gave the design for ourselves, is better than the current vehicles that we're using in the Army. And of course it is, because that's going to be the exact specs that they requested. And they're going to go with it. So this is very much that same thing. So what makes this important is this is increasing the size of the ordering. If they remove fentanyl lollipops from the med kits, from the packs in the Army, all, and from the ORs and the medical units in the Army, Dasuvia will be the exclusive tool that they are using for pain treatment, for anesthesiology in the field, which is huge. That's a huge boost. So already they've got they're going to be in all of the DoD branches. They're going to be in the national stockpile. Now they've got this, which says they may be the only ones in the Army kits. They may be the only drug being used by the Army. That's a big deal. That's a huge deal. So yeah, really good news for ACRX. Long time coming. We'll see how much further they go on this, but suffice it to say, there is one individual who is a hard bear on ACRX. This lady here is not a fan. This lady rallies against ACRX several times a day. So she has a huge short position against it. So she and I, it's been a constant tete-a-tete, a back and forth. Yeah, so this guy's got the point nailed down here. Um, so the big thing with this is it's going to become the standard in military medical. This is going to be the only option available. So it's not that it's a niche treatment now; it's that there's two options available. As a medic in the U.S. Army, you can say, okay, well, I would like the fentanyl lollipop, or I would like the Dasuvia. Those are two options that you have available to you. What they're trying to do, the army, rather than having a whole bunch of different solutions, they want to know what is the best solution, so they can just buy a bunch of that, which is going to be Vesuvio. The commitment is there. They have no agreement with fentanyl producers. They had Vesuvio created specifically to get rid of this nonsense. Let me tell you, when somebody is bleeding out and screaming and in agony, the last thing that they want is a lollipop shoved in their mouth, right? The other issue is you can't really control the release of that. So let's say a soldier is given a fentanyl lollipop and they go, screw this, and they bite down on it and then they just swallow the entire lollipop at once. Is that a good idea? Is that a bad idea? What are you seeing with that? You can't control the dosage. The other thing is if you take, let's take somebody who's deployed in an area like, let's say Korea. Okay, Korea, hypothetically. You're deployed to Korea, you get injured in combat, fentanyl lollipop goes in. Because it's a transmucosal, what happens with that is your saliva is what is breaking down the lollipop, right? And that you can't really control the amount that's degrading the lollipop. And so somebody in Korea who gets injured and takes this lollipop versus somebody in Afghanistan or somebody in Northern Africa, if they pop that lollipop into their mouth in drier climates, you're going to have less saliva, which means you're going to be able to actually have a slower rate of release on that lollipop. It's just not there. There's no steady pacing on it. Whereas with the Vesuvio, it's pop. You know exactly the measurement they have. You know how long it's going to last, roughly given body size. But yeah, it's just a superior solution as far as understanding treatment. This is inaccurate. This is not the initial order. This is not the initial order. Yeah, this guy doesn't understand. He just keeps saying it over and over and over. Okay, that's enough of ACRX. So let's keep going here. So Total Energy, this is one that I was watching a while back. They've got a bunch of natural gas, oil, green energy. They've secured 16 billion in funding for their Mozambique. This is big. I do continue to like Total. They're not a super expensive company. They're expensive enough, but they're not super expensive. They are nowhere near their 52-week high because they are tied to the energy sector. So I think this is a good opportunity. EU is holding a summit over the recovery fund. So this is scary. The plan brings the EU closer to a fiscal union by introducing shared debt liability. Okay, so that issue, yeah. So Germany isn't here because Germany's the head, but Austria, Denmark, Netherlands, and Sweden, this is the money. These are the people that make money. They are okay as far as their own economy goes, and are seen as kind of that stable foundation for the EU. So Austria, Denmark, Netherlands, and Sweden are going. That idea about debt shared debt liability where we are all going to pool together the debt. Well, the four of us don't really have a ton of debt, whereas countries like Greece, Spain, Italy, that's going to be a huge burden. And now that we're losing we've already lost the UK. We're not so sure about that. So we'll see how this plays out, guys. I don't think that that's going to go well, but we'll see. I think they're going to have to drop that shared debt liability in order to get this thing to go through. This is in regards to that Twitter hack. It's not a huge deal for Twitter. Cruise ships cannot sail now until September. Originally, the extension was set to expire on July 24th. Now it's in September, so expect to see the cruise lines continue to do poorly. CCL's down. And CLH is up pre-market. RCL is down a little bit. RCL is the big beast. CCL is the little guy in the room. So cruises may be a potential play on a buy the dip play. Global economy will not achieve a V-shaped recovery after the coronavirus. We have a write down of 22 billion from last quarter. All right. Let's go in here and see what's moving pre-market. Hey, Levi. Thanks, buddy. Good to be back. An AstraZeneca announcement today. So that is big for AstraZeneca. That news right there, killer T cells. What they're showing is that the antibodies aren't doing what they had hoped they would do. They're not as resilient as they had hoped. So these T cells that are there that could stick around for years, that's going to be huge. Now, I still like iPix better, but that is big news. Stocks pre-market. Let's see what's moving. Rumble on. Okay, OCN. What's their deal? Looks like this is a smaller. So this would be a super risky pre-market play here, guys. Bingo is skyrocketing. That must be this one, right? Yeah. Yeah, Bingo's up 42%. Auckland's up 40. BNGO, huh? BioNano. Okay, so I don't know enough about genetics to really speak to this. What I'm seeing here is that they were able to work with a company in Korea to completely map the X chromosome. This allows them to do deeper and better analysis in genetic therapies and genetic illnesses. Um, I'm not sure the financial value of that. What this does demonstrate is that Bingo's tools are capable of some significant powerhouse diagnostics. I don't know what kind of a value that presents for them though. That doesn't come with a contract. NBRV. Okay, so Nabriva has a contract with Merck for one of their drugs. Outside of that, what is it that these guys are doing? This is a slight COVID play on the community-acquired bacteria pneumonia. Um, so, um, yeah, I'll be interested to read that paper on July 20th. Um, the Ford Bronco, it looks like a car. I'm not really a car guy. I don't really. Ooh, new car. It doesn't really do it for me. Um, AstraZeneca's AZD22 is probably most advanced in terms of development. Mm, okay, so first of all, WHO. Eh, um, having that name behind you isn't what it once was, especially with the largest market in the world, which is the U.S. for medical. Um, Still don't like Moderna. I can't believe they're going on to phase 3 when we don't have the entire report on their phase 1 yet, and they're headed into a phase 3 end of July. It's kind of scary. Okay, let's see what else we got going on out there, guys. FDA approvals. Oh, I see. I see the connection that you're making. It is the result of a phase 1 test going to be a boost to the travel sector. TP, are you trading the European markets or are you trading the US markets? Okay. I wouldn't expect it to have that effect, especially with news of cruises being absolutely vetoed until September. I don't think that news from AstraZeneca is going to change anything. Um, I wouldn't count on it. Okay, Georgia Governor sues Atlanta mayor over mask mandate. It's not that it's speculative; it's that the market has already consumed that the idea that AstraZeneca has a drug. There's not going to be any really groundbreaking news on that front. All right, let's see. It's an OTC. OTC. Let's see. Yeah, Rumble on will probably be a potential short today for us. Okay, they've got a deal with Car Gurus, which will leverage Rumble on technology as well as their transportation distribution services and the testing of new inventory acquisition product for dealers that enables dealers to source consumer cars on the Car Gurus platform. Okay, so what this is saying is that dealers, instead of having to have their own inventory on lot, what they're able to do is source this directly from Car Gurus with Rumble on, bringing them the vehicles. Um, Yeah, I mean, it's a pump. I expect that to dump. Probably see it come back down around that 17 mark. That's it. That's exactly it, Joe. Like, great. You paired two companies that sell cars in a time when people aren't buying cars. Cool. Cool. Okay, today before open, this is what we got coming in. Ally, BlackRock. BlackRock is big. First Horizon, Sentient, Aquan. So that's probably what is going on with OCN here. Is this is an earnings beat? Um, okay, where is it? OCN. Hmm. These are all just the big names. I want everyone. Monday, we've got Halliburton. That's a big name. Pets. All right, guys. So my holdings are now up, so I can show you what changes I've made to the portfolio here. And we can go over to tip ranks too and update this so you guys have that publicly. Okay, so WPRT is still there. DGLY I exited. ACRX I have an increased position in. IPIX is at 4,000 now. I added a position in BlackBerry. I added a position in CYDY. I added a position in MNK. And I increased the position here. BlackBerry. 100. MNK 100. CYDY. 600. All right. So now if we go to my public profile. I got to be more timely on this on my exits if I'm going to keep using this. Oh, MBRX got a. I'm in MBRX at 170, so I guess that's 170 Canadian. $3 price rating on it. So, CYDY, guys. The play on CYDY for me is this. CYDY is twofold. One, this is a big deal. Two, this is a big deal. So, it is currently a pink sheet, guys. It is an OTC stock. But they have filed a listing application to join the NASDAQ. So, Cytodyne has met its 75 patient enrollment target in a phase 2 clinical trial for COVID-19. So we've got a human trial, phase 2 with 75 candidates. And they're still enrolling for their phase 2B/3 randomized clinical trial for severe and critically ill COVID population. Okay, so these guys are a phase 2 play for COVID at $5. Now, let's search joins the NASDAQ and see what happened to the last couple stocks. Okay, Torm PLC. Torm PLC. Stop. TRMD. Okay, so TRMD joined the NASDAQ back in 2018. So let's go 5 years. I'm not going to be able to see what this was before it joined the NASDAQ. But let's say that it just goes up to the same level, to the 760 level on joining the NASDAQ. Cytodyne to 760 would be 50% gain in a month. That's of interest to me. That they're in phase 2, phase 3, also of interest to me. So that's why I took my position there, guys. The other ones that I added were Mallinckrodt onto approvals. Westport, I think we're going to get news on that very, very shortly here. I think we're going to see. I think we're going to see Westport do quite well. They've got a $3 target on them. They're at $1.38 right now. MBRX has a 250 target on it. So OCGN is one that I'm in. It's got a 200% upside potential based off of analyst targets. Most of these guys, the smallest ones as far as upside, are BlackBerry, Mallinckrodt, and MFA. Now, with all of these three, Mallinckrodt I actually see at 5, so I disagree with them on this. With the analysts on this, BlackBerry, my play on BlackBerry is they're tied to Bell Canada, they're tied to Amazon. They're just doing some pretty amazing things, and I think that as we move forward, what we're going to see is so we're not going to get another earnings from them because they submitted their Q1 earnings in June. But this is it. The self-driving car thing, they're huge tied into that. Huge. And on top of that, pairing with Yeah, so QNX says the software platform has embedded more than 175 million cars on the road. That's 25 million more cars from the last report. In 5 years, it's gone from 60 to 175 million. So this is big. I'm not sure that they are paired with Tesla, but they are paired with Amazon, and Amazon will be taking a look at their own self-driving vehicle. Okay, here we go. Today, a lot of these smaller banks here. So the strategies that we're running right now, Martini and I are building out. Half was your free Weeble stock. Nice. The strategies that Martini and I have been building out are here. Okay, so the short strat is one that most of you guys are familiar with that we've been playing. This is shorting the retail traders. Here's our equity graph over our first month. You guys can see that we've had some sizable level of success using that. This is a new one I've developed that's an earning strategy. When they beat on revenue and EPS, you then head here and determine if they beat pre-market or the night before, after market, you buy them at the close of that day. So let's say yesterday RYI beat on revenue and EPS. I would wait until the end of day today, buy it at close, and then the next day on the open, the day following, I would sell. That's what this strategy is. So today, it has to be in between $11 and $5 on the share price. So where did they go? These guys. RF and FHN both meet those criteria, so I'm going to put those in the sheet. Now, they do both need to beat in order for them to count, so I'm just putting them on here so that they're on my radar. Gotta clear out my dashboard a little bit here. Okay. So it's good. I'll keep those up. Wait for that info to come in. Boxlight is down 14%. Ooh. What? Are you seeing this? What the heck? $2,800 a year. What? So this cost me nothing but some Google searches, and I got the same news. Okay, a Republican and a Democrat. That's important. It's bipartisan. The legislation, if enacted, will make sure items in the stockpile are in good working order, increase manufacturing of critical supplies in America by improving the S&S supply chain for some of the most important PPE and countermeasure products by allowing stockpile to partner directly with manufacturers to build domestic production capacity. This is the Congress website, guys. You guys can go here at any time to look up a government bill and read it. It is typically in legalese, but you don't need to be an expert to read through it if you take the time. It may take you a little bit longer the first time you read through one, but for the most part, it's fairly self-explanatory. You don't have to be a genius to get through it. You can just kind of skip the stuff here. Without regard to Chapter 5 of Title 40 of the United States Code, the Secretary may blah, 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 blah. Let's get to it. Just saying they can replace stuff when. Like they've got grammatical things in here. Okay, so why this is such a big deal, guys, is ACRX is listed to be part of the national stockpile. So the national stockpile is about to go on a spending spree. That's important. Okay, so I won't have that up today. Sorry, guys, just putting an order in here. All right. So let's head over to StockTwits and see what's blowing up there. And let's open up Twitter and see what's happening over there. So legal pot rolled out in Canada nationwide, and it has proven to be a huge bust. Simply because the regulation around it has made the supply chain near impossible. There's over regulation as to who can open up a store where. Had they just decided that you could submit for an application for like a tobacco permit, anybody that had a tobacco permit can sell pot as well, that would have been the way to go. They would have had significantly more money coming in as a government from it. But as a result, what's happened is the black market has continued to trade in it, and it's been less than profitable for the above ground businesses. That's you. Merkel cast doubts on clinching a recovery fund deal. So not likely. So the EU is not going to like that. Payroll tax cut. He doesn't want a payroll tax cut. He wants the payroll tax cut. He wants it taken out. ETFs. I'm thinking we see a good day for Netflix today, to be honest. I think that anybody that actually read that earnings report is going to be quite pleased with it. Um, yeah. Good morning, Saki. How are you doing? Uh, okay, so the Attorney General's taking shots at Disney and Apple for them kowtowing to China. Online casinos are struggling to stay afloat. Ugh, gross. Well, thanks for joining me in the midst of that. 12 million in loans is a drop in the bucket from the Fed. Bank of America's profit slid 52%. AstraZeneca, people are demanding results. They want them to be positive. Unfortunately, that's not how medical reporting works. My 5G play would be TELUS. No, not TELUS. T-Mobile. T-Mobile Sprint. TMUS would be my 5G play for the North American economy. Out of all of them, Huawei I don't like. Samsung and Ericsson are slightly stronger, but I really like T-Mobile Sprint for the band for the just the bandwidth and spectrum that they have. I think that they are the best play to go with. Yeah, so I'm Canadian. My bias would be with Bell Canada, but I'm not picking Bell Canada. T-Mobile just has it. North America's the market. America really is the market. And so you got to look at who's the big player in America, and it's T-Mobile. Um, Asian markets: Japan down, London up, Paris down, Germany up. Paris doesn't seem happy about something. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. 35 billion dollars from the six big banks in the U.S. cut from their profit statements. Yeah, so this is always going to be a problem with India is that its population moves from province to province to work. They hop on trains, they go long distances. Those trains are often packed. We don't think about packed train like in North America or in Europe. Think about like people riding on the top of the train. It's so full of people. Um, Interesting. This is a cool idea. You get your food in lockers. So you order your food, they put it in a locker, you show up, you enter the PIN code for the locker, it opens up, bam, your food's there. That's a great idea. That's a fantastic idea. British Airways is retiring all of their Boeing 747s. There's no need. So TikTok ban in India, which is a huge part of TikTok's user base. So it's bad for TikTok. Mm. Tokyo has an outbreak happening. Texas is saying that they will not shut back down. Okay, so some of the issue, guys, with these U.S. numbers is they're saying, "Oh, well, we're hitting 70,000 cases for the first time." No, we've probably been beyond 70,000 cases a day for a long time. We are now currently testing at that level of identifying 70,000 cases a day. This is not now we are doing this. We have been at this level for a while. We're just more aware of that level because we are testing so massively. Says a douche. So I haven't really talked too much about this, guys, but don't don't put your flag in the ground. I'm a bear or I'm a bull. That doesn't need to be who you are as a trader. I am bullish on some stocks. I'm bearish on some stocks. It's not about I am only a this. Now, if you're trading long equity, you're going to be more bullish, but that doesn't mean that you can't be bearish against a stock. There are stocks like Uber that I'm bearish against. I don't have a position in them one way or the other. But I am bearish against the stock because of the way that the company performs. So if somebody asks me, well, are you always a bull? No, I'm not always a bull. I'm a bull in a lot of the positions that I have, with the exceptions of the short that we take in the morning. But um, it doesn't make me a bull trader or a bear trader. I don't subscribe to that concept that you are one or the other. That's never going to be the way to go. Lyft is going to provide 60,000 drivers with free partitions. That's interesting. So the guidelines for international students are going to be reversed. That means they're not kicking people out of the country that aren't American students. Like, this is crazy. 30% of people would think of suing a business if they can prove that they contracted COVID there. Like, okay. I'm not familiar with the term, Levi. I don't know what that means. Novin. Um, I don't see any news here on Novin. I'd want to know what the news is, other than this SEC filing for termination. So they pay 60,000 in cash to exit their lease on their corporate. They still have to pay 60 grand. It didn't get bought out. They lose their deposit. Yeah. So what I'm reading here is it's going to cost the company 1.3 million cash to get rid of this thing. Hey, Martini. Yeah, I don't know about this. Morning form. This doesn't seem like positive news to me. This is them incurring 1.3 million in expenses. Let's see what's on the FDA calendar for today. So this is the one that we're waiting on with side-eye. That information should be coming today or next week. But either way, side-eye is going to get that little bump off that. AVXL may be a play here. This one could do well. Torque. Parkinson's disease. These phase 3 guys, these are the big deal. Right now, I'm checking the FDA calendar. We've already reviewed the new positions that I've taken. We're looking at some of the pre-market movers. Kind of just a scattershot of everything. You'd be proud to know, Rita, that my portfolio now holds BlackBerry. It's a beautiful thing. So this is big for me. Their self-driving car position. 175 million cars that have QNX in it. I think that's just going to increase more and more. Rumors of a Fairfax acquisition, even though Fairfax says they're not going to. It's pairing with Bell Canada, which is huge. Bell Canada is the biggest phone service provider in Canada. Uh, so that's for enterprise customers. That's all the businesses that use this. So on top of government, all private business that uses Bell Canada, which is a lot, are going to be using BlackBerry technology. Um, BlackBerry's firing shots at Facebook over their patents. This is the big one. I started actively trading in January. I've had a long portfolio that I just put a little bit of money in for about a year before that, but actively trading as of January. Uh, do I wish I had started earlier? No. Things happen when they happen for a reason. This worked out pretty well. And who knows who I would have met or what would have happened had I started earlier, right? I may have met a different community, met different people, met different influences. The market could have been completely different. I don't wish I had started earlier because this market has been really good to me. We've met some amazing people in it. This is definitely the best time for me to get into it. Um, that may not be true for everybody. A lot of people out there say, "Oh, I wish I could have done that when I was 18 or 19." But to be honest, if I had done this when I was 18 or 19, I wouldn't have been able to do what I do today. It took everything else that I've done to be able to do what I'm doing right now. So, um, BlackBerry is paired with Amazon and Bell Canada. I just this is frustrating. I've got an order sitting out here that is a pre-market order that is above the ask, and it's just sitting there. It's like 4 cents, 5 cents above the ask. It's just sitting. It's a big part of it for sure. All right, time to do a little learning. I can't disclose which stock actually until I'm in the position. Um, it isn't going through though, but we'll see what happens here. Okay. So there is a strategy that I'm considering building out regarding rating. So if something gets a buy rating, somebody gets a sell rating, a hold rating. That is something that I'm toying around with. Martini provided me this abstract, so I'm going to read through it here and get kind of a feel for what these guys say, ratings, changes, rating levels, and what that does for my ability to predict price movement. So this is saying buys and strong buys tend to associate greater returns than the hold sells and strong sells. Upgrades are in the highest returns, downgrades the lowest. There exists a degree of inconsistency between analyst ratings and formal ratings definitions issued by security firms. Okay, it's been well established. Academic literature, blah, blah, blah. Intro, junk, intro. Don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care, don't care. Sample selection. So they're using Zach's database from 1986 to 95, 96 to 2006, 86, 96. 5-point scale, 1 to 5. If it's a 3-point database, it's 1 through 5 that they put it in as. They had 1 million recommendations in the sample. Interesting. They're stating that there's far fewer sells or strong sells because if an analyst is on a stock, they don't want it to be a crap stock. They want it to look good. And so that what they're suggesting from this data is that you are less likely to see a sell or a strong sell placed onto something by an analyst because that makes it look like what they're analyzing is garbage. It's far more likely for you to see an analyst give a strong buy than a strong sell. Is essentially what they're coming to. So you have to take the buy side with a grain of salt. Complicated math, more complicated math. Okay, so strong buys and buys have an abnormal return of 1 or 0.7 basis points versus negative 2.5 to 2.4. Okay. It's saying any upgrade provides a return. It doesn't have to be a magnitude on an upgrade. So you don't have to go from a strong sell to a strong buy in order to see that. It could be simply from a sell to a buy or a hold to a buy, and that would be enough. Moreover, upgrades of 3 rating levels earn an average abnormal return that is neither significantly different from 0 nor reliably different from the average. Yeah, so this is saying that that large jump from a strong sell to a strong buy is irrelevant. It's just the upgrade itself that's of value. So going from a hold to a buy is enough. Ratings do have predictive value. It says that they have tables on this thing. I just want to go down to the tables and see the data. Okay, here we go. This is the bread and butter of this. This is the point. Okay, trading strategies based on single upgrades and single downgrades. Average daily abnormal return on a long single upgrade to buy or strong buy, or a short single downgrades to sell, strong sell. This is saying if you take a long and a short. Is that what it's saying? Hedge portfolio? Long, that's a 2-point return. Double upgrades only provide a slight increase. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this is worth watching for me. So let's add another one to the game. Let's build a strategy, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, let's get rid of all of this. Let's make this a $5,000 bankroll instead of a $10,000 bankroll. This can go date of upgrade. Okay. Okay, now we have to go to here, upgrade to CPU alpha, upgrade to buy. News. And we'll try to get 30 points of data on this, guys, to see. And I'm not being picky on this, right? I'm not picking an industry. I'm not picking size. I'm just going to take it all. And these first 30 points of data are going to allow me to come to some kind of a conclusion one way or the other on how stocks perform. Okay, so let's start there. So JBL, July 16th, 07/16/2021. Okay. Oops. 07. Oh 09, 2020. Nice. HFC 06/2/2020. I want to make sure I got the date right on the last one. It's July 16th, 2020. Okay. 01, 09, 2020. AMD. On 08, 2020. Oxy. Eleven, 8, 2019. WE. Twelve, 4, 2019. WWD. 11, 10, 2019. PH. Now this I want to reuse. Okay. I think we'll probably just go the 10 points to start and see if it's showing us any data. Oh 07, 16, 2020. THO. Pat K. Oh 08, 22, 2019. FLR. Okay. All right. So that's a decent starting point at least. Okay. So now I'm going to pull in. I want the open on the day. I'm gonna close. Okay, so the hypothesis is that an upgrade of any kind, whether it's from neutral to buy, whether it's from underperform to overperform, whatever it may be, those upgrades are going from open to close to show me an increase. So what I'm going to do now is go into these one by one. I'm going to want 2 years by the day. Okay. So JBL. JBL. Okay, as of the 16th, open was 34.11, close was 34.85. Nice. The symbol I entered does not exist, huh? Okay, July 9th. Open 191.80. Close 192.71. HFC. Looking for June 2nd. Open 31.48. Close 32.59. AMD. January 9th. $48.94, $48.97. That's not right either. Come on. Do I just want... Do I just want this? There we go. Okay, why is this showing up red? Oh, this is if I took 1,000 shares, but this should still not be red. Add another rule. This to this. Greater than 0. Done. Okay, Oxy. I don't use Robinhood at all. No. The thesis for this is that upgrades, the day of the upgrade you buy at open, you exit at close, and I want to see what the potential gains are. Just to keep it super simple, make it day plays. That's the thesis right now. Oxy. January 1st. Okay. Upgraded on Oxy on the 8th. 45.54. 44.98. I don't even know that I want this section here. This is kind of irrelevant. This doesn't need to be here. Weighted profit is going to be G. Yeah. Well, I mean, I just do my live videos on YouTube. I haven't done anything else as far as building strategies out, but I'll fill that out after. Again, I don't need this because this is that. Okay, so Oxy, let's go WWE. And I'm looking for 11/08, November 8th. I'm already starting to see a pattern emerge here. WWD. 1204. 116.73. 118.89. No, we cannot play marbles. I don't mind if it's boring. It's 6:53 in the morning. It's supposed to be boring. I get excited about developing new strategies, at least. I'm a bit of a data nerd, though, I guess. November 10th. Thor. Nope. On open. So it gets the upgrade in the morning. Usually around 8 a.m. you get the upgrade from the analyst. Most of these had an 8 a.m. press release. They get the upgrade from the analyst. You buy on the open. You sell at the close. Just to keep it as simple as possible. I like to keep the strategies as bonehead simple as possible. Okay, so Pat key as of yesterday, 65.99, 64.25. And then FLR. $17.50, $17.65. Okay, so let's sort by wins, losses, and see what we see as far as the biggest gains. I guess this is the way we should do it, is sort by the biggest gains, right? Okay, so the biggest gains happened over 100 and under 30. The biggest losers happen in this 40 to 60 range. So this is not bad news. So what I want to do now is I want to go... Oops. Okay. Okay, so 70, is this an accurate win rate? Yes. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so that's accurate. So 72% win rate on this. If we eliminate... Let's set a $35 cap on upgrades. So let's go down here and we'll create another sheet. Delete this. Duplicate. Get rid of everything that isn't $35 or under. And let's go again. Upgrades, upgrades, upgrades. Again, I'm just going to try to find 10 data points to work with, and then I'll expand on the strategy from there. Okay, let's see what that does for us. Texas Roadhouse, over. FSUMF, 07/08/2020. I'm not going to eliminate OTC yet, because I don't know that I've got the rename sub 40 upgrade. So anything under 40 bucks, BK, same date. NTRS, nope. Nope. Okay. UPG, nope. ICHR. Uh, 06/22/2020. WDC. Oh, not WDC. CMCA. Over. Sale. Nice. Yeah, I don't have much to say on Portnoy. Actually, I don't have much nice to say about Portnoy, so I'm just not really gonna dive into it. I think what he's doing is negligent. It's dangerous, not just for himself, but for all those who are bandwagoning behind him. And then every time he loses, he blames somebody else. WFC, AMTD. Okay, that's July 9th. How many is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. One more. One more. One. Okay, and this is 07/13/2020. Okay, let's go here, and then let's go here. CUM. July 8th. 10/24, 10/13. Okay. $37.87, $38.82. ICHR, June 22nd. Sale 7/1. 27.66, 28.41. CHW, July 9th. 34.31, 33.88. Okay. WFC. $19.90. Oh, that is not the right stock. That is the Canadian stock. AMTD. $36.95, 36.61. Buy. Okay. Run. $7.13. 29.23. 30.09. Okay, so it's a 50-50 win rate right now. Average gain is less than % so I'm not very happy with that. So what I'm going to go do is going to add a new metric in, see if I can find what the high of the day is on each of these. What's up, Exiled Investor? I'm going to go back through and find the high of the day for each of these and see how that compares. And if there's an average out that I can take on these days. Wait, WFC 7.9. That's 6.9. 7.9. High 24.78. Okay. $38.94. I think I'm gonna pull this pink sheet. HFC. $6.2. Equals to, is it this divided by this? No. How's ACRX looking today? I haven't looked yet. Uh, win rate on high. F. F. All right, so let me check ACRX real quick. ACRX is at 135, so it's doing quite well. Okay, so this is of interest to me. So the win rate on high on average is 3.5% on a day, with an 89% win rate. So this is something I'll probably develop further throughout the day-to-day, add in some more data points, see what I can get from it. But right now, it's the rule is sub 40, no OTC. You exit at a 3% gain. I mean, the average. This is skewing the average. I would want to take, I think, the average without. We made this 11. So a 2% win. You would exit at a 2% win. But guys, it is 7 o'clock. That is it for me today. I'll continue to build this out as a fourth potential strategy, just so I have more time to put more data into more spreadsheets. But this is showing me some value at the very least. If I could average a 3% gain on upgrades daily, that'd be great. It's been fantastic to be back, guys. You will see me back regularly every morning, 4:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So be here. Looking forward to seeing you guys. Tomorrow I won't be here, of course, because it's Saturday. So I'll see you guys Monday. Have a great weekend. I will see you guys later.